Today we're going to react to, I would say a clip, not necessarily a clip, but a video of Candace Owens debating with Destiny. A bit confused, but we're not even going to touch on that. Let's get it.
I mean, I'm not telling people, like I said, I tell people how I actually live and what I actually believe. And
If
I
you
don't
would've
know,
went
and I
to-
don't know that you do that. Like,
I do.
don't justify women acting like whores.
Well, I don't justify trying to prescribe lifestyles to people.
What?
Don't justify trying to prescribe lifestyles to people.
It's not prescribing a lifestyle.
Of course
it's just
it is.
You're,
When
you're,
somebody
the-
said that they would be happy not having kids, you were like, oh, she sounds like a conceited or
that's
something.
not what.
It's
Well, look, it trips me out when people say that, because naturally, at some point in life, people might disagree with the term I'm going to use, but women have baby fever at some point in life. That's all. It's like, how can you have baby fever, but you don't want to have kids? Then you would never catch baby fever. Anywho.
What
like-
she said.
That was a
That's
bit-
not
yeah,
what
that
she
was the
said.
TikTok clip you were responding
That was
to.
not what she said, and I can tell you exactly what she said.
That she was trying to go on
I said there was
vacations and-
absolutely no reason to make a comment that suggests that she was actually being insulting to people that had kids. It wasn't just one video. She makes multiple videos about how great life is if you don't have kids. If I was making videos with my kids saying about how great life is if you just, stop being a loser and get married, people would come after you because people hate the traditional lifestyle on display.
Wait, but that's literally what you guys say.
No.
Get married, have kids. That's the only way to go. Otherwise, you're a loser.
No, we do not. You're just making up words
I would
that
say-
have never
then maybe
come
that's
out
not
of
the
my
case.
mouth.
So wait, so if somebody said, if there was a young woman and she was like,
Because there's more than life, like getting married and having kids. You can do other stuff that doesn't make you a loser. But what can you do? Like, you're missing out on a lot of stuff when you don't do certain things. Like, you don't know how it feels to watch something that is basically almost literally, not fully, but your DNA go from nothing to something, be able to operate on its own without kids. Like, if you get married, well, that's a totally different topic. Anywho, let's continue.
I'm 20. I think I'm going to go to a career and be whatever. I don't think I want to have a family. I don't think life's for me. You would say, okay, well, that's fine. You should make that choice.
No, I
then.
would say that's completely normal at 20 years old. That's
wait. So then they should change their opinion later on. What if she was 25 or 30 and she's like, no, I don't think I want to have kids? Would you be, okay, that's fine?
If she was a 20-year-old person and she was saying that I don't think that I want to have kids, then what I would say is that's pretty typical because you're 20 years old and you haven't yet had the biology thing happen to you, which, like, when they say that your biological clock starts ticking, it's very real. When you get into your mid-20s, you have a totally different feeling.
So if
like,
a woman
it's like
is 25 or 30 and says, I don't think I want to have kids, I think I like my career, I'm going to stick with it, you'd say, okay, that's fine. It's your choice.
Yeah, as long as that person isn't trying to, and by the way, I think that person would probably be, it would be unusual. Like, it wouldn't be, the majority of women, I think, do want to have families and want to aspire to family, and that's fine. But when you try to create a brand of it and you say things like, oh, well, if you have kids, then you can't just smoke pot and stay in bed and be naked all day. This is actually something that, like, Seth Rogen just said.
Okay.
What you're doing
Sounds
there
kinda
is you're
awesome.
actually trying to, you're 30, how old are you? You're 35 years old.
Yep.
Okay, so what is that? What
What do I do?
like, if you were 20
Well, let's
and
say
you were
I'm a
saying this
millionaire.
stuff,
I travel the world. I get to research and talk about whatever I
get-
want. I get to
yeah.
talk to cool people like you and other people. I live in Miami in a high rise for 5,000 a month. I mean, I think my life is pretty okay. I mean, what do you?
but I'm saying, like, what are you doing when you're trying to sell to people that, being a hoe is cool, smoking pot, saying
I don't necessarily think that being a hoe is cool.
Are you going to age out of that?
Would
Like,
I try? Would I?
Because
you're
you're a 35-year-old man, right?
I am indeed a 35-year-old man.
You're kind of doing the, like, I'm a college dorm kid and I'm trying to make everything sound cool. But I just want to point out the fact that you're a 35-year-old man and your words should matter and they should have weight. Like, like I said,
agree.
if you were 20, I'd be
Yep.
like, I get it. When you're 35,
Yeah.
say things with conviction. Say
I'd
things
say
that have
plenty
meaning.
of things with conviction. Yes.
And
like when I asked you, what would you recommend to a woman at 25 and 30? I didn't just start rambling about what a 20-year-old should do and how biologically blah 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 blah. I would say exactly what I would tell a woman at 25 or 30.
Yeah, I know, but your behavior, and I will appreciate that people that are younger won't understand what I'm saying until you hit 35, which is, I'm gonna be 35 this year.
Okay.
You're acting like you're a college dorm kid.
Yeah, and your catty insults towards people online make you seem like a high school mean girl. I mean, like, what do you
Okay.
mean? Like, we all have our things.
But you're
like,
selling to them things that you know aren't good.
You see, like, she's not even trying to insult him, and he comes back and tries to insult, and she's not even trying to insult him. She's just saying, like, yo, like, at a certain age, you change the way you talk to people, and you change, like, your mindset should change on certain things. It shouldn't stay the same when you're 20 than it is or is going to be or is when you're 35. And right back, like, he insults her. Why do you even get to high school? Like, yo, like, you're not even trying to listen to learn. You're listening to respond.
Good. So
What do you think I'm
so
selling to them?
if you
What do you
were
think I'm
a
selling that I know
25-year-old,
isn't good?
like when I'm on the whatever podcast and I'm
Yeah.
surrounded by women that are in their 20s and they're saying like, you know, the whole life is good. The reason why I said to that girl that I'm going to pray for you is because I know that she's going to have a different perspective when she's older. So I'm not upset by that.
Exactly.
I don't feel like that needs to be attacked when those young girls are around me and we're talking about all of these topics. When I'm sitting with a 35-year-old man, okay? And
What do you think I'm selling people?
And you know better, okay?
Wait, what do you think I'm selling people?
Well,
do you
like
think
I
I'm telling
said,
people to be a hoe?
what I said when you were defending the lifestyle of being a hoe, why are you doing that?
I don't think I defend the lifestyle of being a
You
hoe.
did. You did a whole video basically saying that none of my points of me trying to tell these women that they essentially you can do something better. You don't have to sell your body. This was your like snazzy video. Come back to it. Why are you making a comeback? Yes, you can make a video and be like, why can't someone do hair? But why would you as a 35-year-old man want to sell something to someone or make it seem okay or cool or relevant when you know it's harmful to them? I don't get that because
Well, this is just me off of listening and what I would think off of, what I hear, because I've heard many of his clips, and it's like, well, he tries to sell freedom. Do what you want, this and that. Like, don't listen to what people have to say. Live a happy life, and it's like there's no boundaries. Like, what is it something that he wouldn't do? I've never seen a video to where he has boundaries. There's like every video I've seen, I haven't necessarily seen too many, but every video I've seen, he doesn't have boundaries. It's like, do what you want, live a happy life. Like he just said, I do what I want. I did that. I researched this and that. I live in high rise in Miami. Like a lot of stuff that no one fucking cares about. Like no 60-year-old person is going to talk like him, but a 20-year-old will. So why should a 35-year-old be doing it? Doesn't even make any sense. Anywho, let's continue.
because of your age.
So yeah, so I don't understand. I don't know what your takeaway from the video was, or if there are researchers that give you like talking points to my videos. But generally, what I talk about is when it comes to lifestyle, you have to analyze both sides of things. If you grow up incredibly religiously conservative and you are like shamed out of sex and you don't have sex with anybody your whole life because you're super, hyper cognizant of your virginity and all of these like weird things, and that's like coming from an unhealthy external place, to say, oh well, maybe that's worth exploring. On the flip side, if you grow up like hyper liberal and you've 20 guys by the time you're 20 years old and you just want to bang everybody and you've got like weird associations with men and everything, I'd say, hey, you should probably slow down. It's probably not healthy. I just encourage people to like explore honestly, to have like conversations with themselves, with their parents, could be with priests, could be with therapists, could be whatever, and to kind of figure out like what works for them and don't get pushed into one direction from a culture side. It could be the left encouraging people to be way too promiscuous, or it could be the right for people that are shaming people for being promiscuous and saying like, well, this one lifestyle of family stuff is going to biologically be suited towards you as you get older. I think both of these are equally stupid because it just pushes people in the other direction.
So you don't believe in anything, is what you're saying.
Is that what you got from that?
Well, you're not committing to
I
anything.
believe in actually thinking.
I got he doesn't have boundaries. I'm sorry. Like, not really. But it's like, like, what? If you grew up like this, you might do this. You grew up like that, you might do that. And I'm not saying any of them are wrong. And it's like, what? Like, you...
For yourself. That's what I think. I think that every human being roughly exists in this like paradigm where if you're 100 people by the time you're 20, probably not healthy. If you've never had sex before and you're 30, probably not healthy. And that you should probably like try to gravitate towards what are like human norms, and then what are things that make you happy depending on your culture, depending on your geography. And then you kind of like explore in there, and don't be shamed out of exploring from one side to the other. Don't be pushed into something because somebody like Candace Owens or somebody like Stephen Bonnell tells you that you have to do a particular thing, but just like kind of
I
explore
don't
and figure
tell
out
people
things.
that they have.
It's funny. He doesn't even mention himself. Like, he doesn't tell anyone anything. Oh, yeah, hey, do what you want. That's telling someone stuff. Oh, anywho. Like, it kind of cracks me up to see people so, like, infatuated on believing what they think and what they believe that they don't see outside of it, and so they're always trying to go against other people because that's what they're set out to do.
Have to do a particular thing, but if I see
Of
somebody
course you
that's
do.
doing heroin, I'm not going to be like, it is whatever, and it's just like whatever. You're just
Do you think that
doing having
heroin
your
is
sex.
comparable to
I'm-
recreational sex?
I am.
Yes.
Quite frankly, I actually think a woman, as the one that I sat across from when you were critiquing this video, who says that she slept with up to 20 men per night. Yeah, it's just as bad. And I know that has to be hurting her soul. So I look at her as a human being.
Hurting her
and
soul? What if
yeah.
she just has a...
I'm sorry. The guy's shoe flinging in the picture in the background kind of threw me off. So I'm gonna go back for a second because I'm like, what in the world? Like, what? Why is he sitting there? I'm not even saying it's a guy. I'm assuming. My bad. Could be a female. You never know.
I think a woman, as the one that I sat across from when you were critiquing this video, who says that she slept with up to 20 men per night. Yeah, it's just as
Man.
bad. And I know that has to be
That-
hurting her soul. So I look at her as a human being.
Hurting her
and
soul? What if
yeah,
she just has a different lifestyle than
she
you?
doesn't.
Completely.
She
No,
does-
she does. You know?
No, she
It's funny because he's like hurting her soul. What if she has a different lifestyle? That changes the fact that she has a vagina. It changes the fact that she has emotions. Like, doesn't make any sense. That's like saying, well, a stray dog. Like, well, how's it hurting a stray dog? Just because the dog is stray doesn't mean the dog doesn't have feelings.
What do you mean? She's telling you. She was very honest, actually, and that's why I appreciate her, because she was very honest that for her it is just about money. Okay, but when I see that individual, when a young woman is saying that she'll sleep and see up to 10 to 20 clients per night, that's a broken individual. And it's just as
And
as
they're
when you
broken
just as when
because
you see
why?
somebody who says that they're doing heroin or doing this, they don't need the cool guy at the party to be like, yeah, man, it's whatever. Like it's like, no, you actually. Like structure, you need somebody to say to you, you don't have to do this. There's so much better potential within you. You
Yep.
are young, you have your entire life ahead of you. Let's figure out what it is that you're great at. I understand the economic concerns. It's a really tough economy and it's easy money, but there's other things that you can do to make money that will give you better self-value. And so that's why I say that I think that what you're doing as a 35-year-old man is you're lying. You're just
Yeah.
lying to
Do you think I'm
people.
telling women on average that 20 guys
When
tonight
you
is a
make
good idea?
videos and you're replying to conservatives who are rightfully saying that this
Encouraging
lifestyle is
it.
not good, which should be abundantly clear to every single person,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what you're trying to do is lie in a clever way. And ultimately, like I said, if you were 20, I'd be fine with it. But when
First
you're
of all, I don't know why if I was 20, why that would make
because
you
when
fine
you're
with
when,
it.
because
You'd have the same influence in your audience regardless.
because your
Number
brain's
one.
not developed when you're 20.
Number two.
Thank
so
you.
What? Your brain's always developing as you grow.
you talking about so what?
Your brain develops when you're 25, 26.
This motherfucker really. Oh, excuse me. He really said, "So what?" Like, so what if I'm 20? I'm not 20. And say your brain's not developed. It's like, so what? What are you talking about? So what? There's stuff you're not even gonna understand. There's experiences that's not gonna happen. Like, there's stuff you're not gonna even think to do, to be. Like, and it's a so what? Like I said, boundaries. This is like boundaries. Where's the boundaries at?
6 years old, and so when you see a 20-year-old and they have a bunch of positions, I don't hold them to it. I think
I don't think that's to do
you
with
have
brain
time.
development. I think
You're
that's to do
gonna
with life experience. I think as you grow
no,
older,
but like
you
literally
experience things.
factually. I don't know if you want to Google this, but your brain develops when you're 25, 20.
If you really want to Google it factually, the 25 number came from one study that was done like 30 years ago where they only measured brain development up to 25. And the reality is the plasticity of your brain and every other structure of your brain continues to grow.
See, he's not listening to learn. He's listening to respond. Like, look, like he what she said before that got thrown out the window. All he cares about is Google it, 25. That's it. Like, yo.
Into your 30s. That's technically where that number comes from. It's not true. You can look it up later if you want. The
See?
25, 26 thing is a misnomer. It's not actually
Okay.
true.
Well, like I
Okay,
said, if you
that's-
were
Eve to me is
Okay.
basically
Guess
freedom.
we're gonna
It's
watch
a
a,
giant open universe where you can do whatever you
If you were 20,
Sure.
I would accept, but there is such a thing as objective truth, and people that shirk and pretend that there's not, and like everybody
Objective
can
truth
just do
relating to
whatever
how
they
you should
want.
live your life?
It's no about things that are harmful to people. Like objectively speaking.
So I'm curious. Wait, what is the upper bounds on recreational sex that you think is harmful or not harmful?
When you're selling your body and sleeping with old.
I'm not asking that. I'm just saying, what is the upper bounds on recreational sex that you think is like healthy for a human being? Or like if you go past this, you're like clearly over the line.
I'm not gonna say to a person, this is a number that you should sleep with, and this makes you
don't
bad.
accuse me of believing in nothing. I'm not taking out a position
I'm
where you only attack the most
specifically talking
extreme
about
people.
the whatever
Yeah,
podcast.
I'm going to attack the same people that you do. If some woman is on saying like, oh, you 20 guys a night and do only because you're 18, I'm going to say, in general, that's a pretty wacky, that's a pretty out there position. I argue with tons of people over this. I don't encourage people to start
what are you trying to do? What purpose are you trying to fulfill? When you, as a 35-year-old man, see me sitting down with these young women trying to say, you don't need to do this, you don't have to do this for money, and you like attack it and try to be like, Candace is just a or like whatever, like she's blah 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 blah, she's just being a high school mean girl. It's like, no, I am trying to tell these women that they are worth more. And when I said to that girl at the end of it, which I don't believe you showed,
no boundaries,
I will pray for you and that you can do much more than this, that came from the heart. Actually.
No, that is the most condescending thing a religious person could say to a non-religious person. I will pray for you.
Okay, you can
see he totally missed what she said before that, and he's so focused on listening to respond. Now, that's a totally religious thing to say. I'll pray for you. Like, what if she didn't say it, and what if she would have just did it? It like there's a lot of stuff that happens that people don't even say. Doesn't even make any sense. Like, but again, he's just trying to listen to respond.
You can deal with your, I know that you went to a Jesuit school and you've got some issues with somebody.
Why do you think I have issues?
But I meant that because
I loved my high school. I think it's fine.
Because for me to say, like, I meant what I said to her, that I would pray for her. Like, when she was describing
why
life,
do
she
you
was
need to
very
tell her
upfront.
that you'll pray for her?
Because I did pray for her.
Then do it privately. Why do you need to tell her that? You're only telling her that because you think you got such a...
It's not like she sat there, everyone bow your head, close your eyes, so let's grab hands, and the Father, God. Like, she didn't do that. So what you talking about? She could have did it in private. She did pray for her in private. Oh, my goodness. Yo, this guy. I don't know if he stresses out people, but, like, it's kind of difficult listening to him. It's very difficult because I like structure, boundaries. Like, someone who doesn't have structure and boundaries bothers me. And it's like, yo, what do you stand for? Nothing. I stand for doing what you want, being free. That's nothing. Like, yo, like, even animals have boundaries. Pride Rock, like the elephant graveyard. We all seen the Lion King. Even they have boundaries. But you don't. Anywho.
Such a condescension about you. You've got such an air of superiority that you're going to pray for
air
her
of
to your
superiority?
God.
Because
Yeah,
I said I would... God forbid someone says...
And then the insults. Like, he doesn't even know how to talk. He's too busy trying to insult her. The air of superiority and this and that, woo, woo, woo. But she didn't say anything about you, and you were like, yeah, I live in Miami. I researched this. Like, she didn't say anything when you said that. But at every aspect, you want to insult her.
That's obviously an air of superiority because they're saying they're going to include you in their prayers.
Well, I mean, like, when you say
something
God
that my
forbid, but like quite literally, God forbid. Isn't there a
something-
whole story of a lady going to a temple and quietly putting like 2 percents or whatever the
weird
tray
anti-Christian rhetoric. I don't
what
know.
is anti-Christian about this?
If you say I'll pray for you, it's obviously you trying to be better. It's like, no. Why are you even reacting to that? I'll pray for you. I'll pray for everybody that listens and watches this show. When people say that they're going to pray for you, they actually mean it, you guys. They just mean it. There's no double entendre thing going on there. And anybody that can go back and watch that clip, you will see that I was not speaking above her. I actually genuinely responded to that girl because she was so honest and she was so forthcoming. She was, I thought, I actually wanted to do more stuff with her, and we tried to reach out with her because she wasn't trying to lie or trying to pretend like her lifestyle was for health. She was clear that it was for money, and she was like, I'm not going to lie, this is why I do this. And I genuinely prayed for her. Actually, we were not enemies that were sitting across the table. So no, it was not condescending when I said I'd pray for you. It was a fact. When I left, I said, I will keep you in my prayers because I have in my heart, I want to see that girl in 10 years and know that she left that field and she is able to speak to women that are still within it and think that they have to sell their bodies for money and sleep with 10 men per night, I am going to continue to pray for that young woman, because we need people who transform their lives to then show people that they can transform their lives. And it's not condescending to pray for anybody ever. So
Okay. I will pray for you too then. Okay.
You should. Yeah, you should.
Okay.
I hope you pray for me. I want you to include me in your prayers. I want
That is condescending. You know what I'm saying? Like, he too busy listening to respond. This is why you can't act like oh my goodness.
every
Let me
person
finish
watching this
this.
to include. But I feel like our society's gotten so like anti-Christian. Like, oh my God, they're trying to be condescending. It's like, no, like I'll pray for you. I will literally pray for every single person that I think needs a.
What if a motherfucker was excuse me again. What if somebody was like, I'll bring you on my podcast? Are you gonna say something about that? Like, doesn't even make any sense. Just because someone says I'll pray for you, so when they say I'll pray for you, whatever your response is going to be with that, then that means whenever they say I'll do this, I'll do that, then your response should be the same.
Prayer, and I felt like she needed a prayer. Like she could be there, you know.
Okay.
Anywho, whew, that was a tough one. That's all for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Till next time.